Utility bills may be on the rise as the agreement between ATCO and the City of Lloyd was discussed at Council this week. During the meeting, the franchise fee percentage was the topic of discussion. It was brought to Council's attention that the rate had not been adjusted in Lloydminster in some time.
We found out that in a case that it's been some time since that franchise fee has been looked at from that perspective. In some cases, we didn't even know when it was last updated to the 25% on the gas bill, and we go back to 2013 for the electrical bill.
A 1.5% increase to the franchise fee was proposed to Council, with increases being unavoidable.
Crunching the gas, about $110,000 more for gas, 10,000 residences plus 11 to 1,500 businesses, so that maybe $1 or $2 a month from the gas side overall.
If the rate is approved by the Alberta Utility Commission, these increases could take effect January 1st, 2024. The Lloydminster Bobcats look to bounce back after a disappointing AJHL showcase when they took on the Spruce Grove Saints last night. Here's our Thomas Wildman with more on the exciting game.
Both the Bobcats and the Saints were looking to move up in the standings in this early October matchup. It was a tight game early, but then, on a lucky breakdown at the net, Blake Setter was able to open up the scoring at 9:07, and just a few minutes later, Setter struck again.
Oh, nice.
No more goals were scored in the first, and most of the second went scoreless as well, but Stephen Kirkpatrick was able to get one by Jack Solomon for the Saints to cut the lead to just one. The third period had plenty of close calls, including the tying goal being waved off. The Saints were running out of time, but did have the man advantage and elected to pull the goalie to have a 6-on-4 advantage. The Bobcats' stout defense came through once again and set up the game-winning goal. The empty netter by Cade Fondele would give the final score of 3-1, and the hard work that went into the entire game was shown especially in that final goal.
Just stuck to the structure, and I gotta give credit to Redzi. He stopped that play, he gave it to me, then Fonzie got open and I just gave it to him, and he made a really nice play to finish that off, so super proud.
Head coach Brad Riella was also proud of how his team was able to hunker down and hold on to the lead throughout the game.
We accomplished our goals as a group of just being more aggressive and being more assertive within our game. So one thing I've always said with these players is they show up and work every night. Sometimes it's not pretty, but you know what? They found a way tonight, and I thought we put a lot of pressure on Spruce Grove, and we really executed and did a good job. I mean, obviously every game there's things you want to do better, but really proud of the guys and their effort tonight. It was excellent.
The Bobcats will now have 2 more games at home this weekend against the Olds Grizzlies and the Canmore Eagles, and hope to continue their momentum.
We're just going to keep working hard in practice and keep doing the right things. We got the 2 games on the weekend should be good. We got to come with lots of energy on the weekend, good, fast starts like today, and just play strong defense. We can't have breakdowns like we did the other weekend.
Thomas Wildman, Primetime, local news.
The Fall Harvest Collective Market is coming up soon. Stacey Comer has the details.
We have a special event coming up in Lloydminster here in the next couple of weeks. It's another Harvest Collective Market. Terry is joining me today, a familiar face here when we talk about these markets. Terry, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me again.
Well, tell me, Terry, when the next market is and what is planned for this one?
So our next market is being held on October 14th, next Saturday. It's from 10 till 4 at Nissan Hall. Our markets are always featuring handmade vendors. So we'll have 40 handmade shops from around the prairies. This time we're actually going to have a food truck joining us in the parking lot. So you can grab a hot dog or a taco in a bag before or after you shop. And Nissan Hall now has that cool playground outside of it too. So we're hoping just have a fun family day. So yeah.
Well, these are always fun and really unique items. And is this one geared towards Christmas yet? Will there be some Christmas stuff out as well? Or are you still kind of keeping it with the fall theme?
It's definitely more of a fall themed market, but I know some of the vendors are gearing up for Christmas. So there will be some vendors who have Christmas themed items for sure. But definitely fall themed items as well. It's right before Halloween. So I think people may even have some Halloween stuff. So we'll see what everybody shows up with.
Do you know roughly, Terry, how many vendors you have for this event?
So we have 40 vendors. And like I said, everybody's handmade and it's just a mix of home decor, clothing. There's some treats and snacks. Yeah, a little mix of everything. So it'll be really good.
So, how does it work as far as admission goes or donations? Is it free of charge? Do you accept donations for anything, or what do people need to know when they come to the door?
Yeah, so we never charge admission for our markets. We want to make it as accessible for everyone as we can. If you are able to bring something, we will be collecting non-perishable food donations for the olive tree, or we can take some monetary cash donations at the door as well if you're interested. But absolutely no obligation to bring anything, but definitely encouraged. So.
Will this be the last Harvest Collective before the holiday season, or will you have one more heading closer to Christmas?
That is an excellent question. It might be the last one. Our event space is booked for the date I was hoping for in December. So um, there's a chance there might be something that pops up somewhere else, but I'm still in the process of planning that. So this might be the last chance to shop our market before the holidays for sure.
Well, I know it is October, but a lot of times when you go to events like this, there are really cute little gifts that you can pick up for stocking stuffers or sometimes for the people in your life that are really hard to shop for and they need something unique. So I'm guessing that's going to be the case for this event this weekend too, is like you said, a little bit of everything, but really you probably can find something for everybody in your life if you just look at all the booths.
Totally. There's such a mix. There's like, crocheted little stuffed animals for kids and jewelry, bath bombs, like I said, lots of little snacks and treats. So there'll be literally something for everyone. And what a great way to get a unique gift for people in your life that are hard to shop for. So
Well, and when it comes to putting this together, Terry, do you have a lot of help, a lot of volunteers that make this happen?
no, I quite literally do everything by myself. I started this market. I have a small shop myself, and I kind of started it as a selfish way to be able to set up my space and sell my goods. So with it being free to enter, there's no one to sit at the door and charge admission. So I kind of planned it all myself. I never thought I would go into the event planning space, but I'm kind of enjoying it. And every market, it seems like more and more people come out. So it's been really fun to experience.
Well, and let's talk about your booth there, Terry, as well. What is the name of the booth and what are the items that you sell?
Yeah, so I run Emma and April. It's a handmade clothing and accessory shop, mostly kids clothing with a few pieces for ladies and adults as well. And yeah, I hand make everything at home and in a little studio here in our basement. And yeah, everything's handmade with love. So.
All right. Well, Terry, I really appreciate speaking with you today. And once again, can you remind us of the date, the location, and the time for the next Harvest Collective Market?
Definitely. So it's October 14th from 10 until 4 at Nissan Hall at the exhibition grounds.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Terry, and good luck. I didn't realize that you were literally the whole operation behind the operation. So good luck with everything. This is always a great event, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Now let's take a look at your agriculture prices.
I'm very happy to be joined here today by W.L. Hawken. She is an author. Her name is Wendy, but on her books, it's written W.L. Hawken. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course.
Happy to be here.
Yes, of course. Thank you for joining me. You write a lot of fantasy. There is a series that you have going on, one of them being To Dance with Destiny. And the way I've read about it, it's about a coven of witches who solve murders. And I think that's a very unique and awesome idea. So tell me a little bit about this series and what people should know about it.
Sure. Well, the series started quite some time ago when I was teaching high school and going a little bit crazy. And because I'm an introvert, and high school is not a good place for introverts, as you may know. And so I was coming home and writing this urban fantasy series about a Wicca coven. It's pretty steamy kind of a series, and it really helped me get through and yeah, years of being a high school teacher. So the first one was To Charm a Killer, and it just kind of morphed from there into there's a high priest named Estrada who is also a gothic magician at a Vancouver nightclub. And he's polyamorous and he's bisexual. He gets into a lot of mischief and a lot of trouble. And what happened is the series just, because of my writing process, the series just morphed into his journeys. And so it followed through now 5 books where I've just followed him as he travels around the world, basically trying to save his family and friends, trying to work out his personal issues, and getting into a lot of trouble.
I think it sounds absolutely fantastic and just a big adventure, and the fact that it kind of, some of it takes place in Canada. I think that also adds elements. I've loved reading different types of books that actually are set in Canada, because you feel more at home when you're reading them, for sure. Now you have this whole series. You've written so many books. You have a newer book coming out called Writing with Your Muse, A Guide to Creative Inspiration. Now, this seems like a very different style of book, but it could help people who are interested in writing and want to get, involved in writing their own novel. Tell me a little bit about what this book is, when it's coming out, and, how it will help people who do want to write.
For sure. I'm launching it January 9th because I've got Destiny coming out October 31st. So I need a little breathing space there with Christmas in the middle of that. But this book evolved because I was writing another novel, which I actually have written now, about a girl who goes back to a lighthouse and she's had some trauma, and the trauma has unleashed her power to see spirits. And so I went to a mediumship class, and I ended up doing about a year of mediumship training where we actually talked to spirits. And in part of that, I completely opened up because we were doing so much meditation, and it became apparent that this is what I needed to write, that this book sort of morphed out of those sessions, as did the covers of my Hollystone books, because one of the women who was there did all my tattoo covers. So that was kind of a really interesting thing. So what it's about is it's about slowing your brain waves. So a lot of us are walking around in beta brain, what I call beta brain, which is we're busy, we've got a million things going on. And when you're like that, you cannot reach your creative potential. Okay. So a lot of the time when we're super creative, it's when we're in that twilight zone, when you just wake up in the morning or you're just going to bed at night, and then your brain has a chance to slow down. It goes into an alpha state first. If you're really lucky, it goes into a theta state, which is where I love to live. What I use is meditation, get there, and I use visualization. So the book has a lot of really breaking down how to do visualization, what the brainwave thing is about, taking people on shamanic journeys, because I use shamanic journeys. It's a little bit out of left field, so it's quite different. But as you can tell, I am a little bit out of left field as well. I'm pretty well left-brained, and right-brained. I'm right-brained. And so that's what happens there. And what I'm hoping to do is actually, once it comes out, is to have like Facebook Live sessions where people can join me and we can go into doing some of these meditations.
That's awesome. And, it's a very unique, different way. So I think that's awesome. Now, all of your books, if people are interested in your series or this one that's coming out in January, where can people find them to purchase them?
I think the best place to start for me is Blue Haven Press, and it's just bluehavenpress.com. And I mean, I've got everything sort of on my website. And if you're in Canada and you're interested in autographed books, I've made my books small enough that I can actually mail them in Canada in the letter mail. Okay. So I mean, that's a bonus, right? So instead of, $15 postage, it's like $6. So it makes a big difference, so I can do that piece as well. And there's instructions for how to connect with me there. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I think your series sounds actually amazing, and I think I'm gonna have to check it out for sure. Definitely right
Sure.
up my alley. So I wish you the best of luck with your 2 releases that are coming out at the end of October, and
Thank you.
then at the beginning of January. So thank you so much for joining me.